Hey guys, it's Britt. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I know I look super glam today, and I wanted to start like a series of unpopular opinions from a trans woman. Just because I feel like I have a lot of opinions that might not be so popular, and just because they're my opinion doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just my opinion. So, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, that's fine. We are human beings. We don't all have to think or act the same way, and that's what makes us human. So, I wanted to talk about something that is probably going to get me in a little bit of trouble with the trans community, and it has to do with transitioning. So, obviously, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a trans woman that has been transitioned and living my life as a trans woman for 10 plus years. Sorry, let me pull this hair forward so I'm not leaning against it. So, yes, so let's get into it. I have had a lot of people reach out to me saying that they're starting to transition. And like, I'm happy for them, but I feel, and this is going to sound so terrible coming from a trans person, but I feel like people are jumping on the bandwagon to be like, well, I'm transgender also, because they're dealing with a lot of other problems in their life. And I feel like people are using the transgenderism as like an scapegoat of, I'll just become transgender and become a new person. And it's not like that at all. There's like, I don't know what the percentage is, but there is a lot of trans people that actually transition, and they actually detransition when they realize that this is not what they wanted. So I think right now in our society, we're seeing a huge amount of people come out as transgender. I think mostly part because society is making it more normal. And so people are feeling like, well, I can be transgender also. And like, yes, anyone can be transgender, but are you really? Like, I feel like, especially nowadays, to be transgender and start hormones and all that, I feel like you need to have extensive visits with a counselor, psychologist, all that, to ensure that you're doing it for the right reasons. It's just weird talking about this. I don't know. I just felt, oh, also I did my own nails. They look crazy, but I love them. So yeah, I feel like people are jumping on the bandwagon of being transgender to escape their problems, whether that's depression, anxiety. And yes, sometimes when you do actually transition, those things do go away. But I think people are under the assumption that they can become a new person and forget their previous life. And that is totally toxic to believe that way. Just because you were born your gender at birth doesn't mean you can just forget about it and act like that part of your life is dead. Like, that to me is so toxic and negative. And yes, we all have trauma in our lives, especially growing up being transgender and not realizing it. And you can't figure out, like, why do you feel this way? But when I hear trans people that get upset from family members who still refer to them as their, come here, kitty, as their previous identity, it's like you're getting upset at somebody that's known you for how many years as this person, and now because all of a sudden you want to be known as someone else, you expect them to identify you as that way. And yes, they should, but it's going to take time. And even me as a transgender person, if I meet somebody that identifies as a man or whatnot, and they decide to transition, it's still hard for me. I keep having to correct myself. So it's not like it's just like turn a switch, I'm gonna be known as this. Does that make sense to you guys? Kitty, come here. Come here, kitty. Are you gonna come up? Oh, kitty's coming up. Come here. Little coot, I love you, girl. Oh, I freaking love you. I'd kiss you, but I got lip gloss on, girl. Okay, sorry. But the whole point of this video is I think people are transitioning for the wrong reasons. And because it's becoming more socially accepted, people are just jumping on the bandwagon. And yes, people can say the same thing about me when I transitioned. Is she doing it for the right reasons? We'll never freaking know. Like, I mean, I know what I did was the right decision. I don't regret any part of my transition. I would never want to go back to living the way I was. I'm very happy, and being in transition for like 10 plus years, I know who I am and who I want to be in this world. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm at a weird point in my transition, which actually the pandemic helped bring me out of my shell in a way. Because having to wear masks and everything, it actually allowed me to not have to like shave my face when I would go out, which is so absurd because before the pandemic, I would not be seen out of the house if I hadn't shaved. Like, so I feel like it was kind of like a thing that helped me realize, like, yes, I'm transgender, but no, I don't have to present as a woman 100% of the time. Like, I'm a transgender woman, which means I'm a male that transitioned to a female. Take it or leave it. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, there's days when I don't want to put makeup on. I don't want to look cute. I don't want guys to look at me. Like, part of me transitioning has to do with doing it for myself, not to please other people. And going back to people transitioning to the wrong reasons, I think people get excited from the reaction that they get as they transition. And so it kind of like, kitty, stay out of my makeup. Sorry, I'm so ADD, you guys. Like, this video is gonna be all over the place, and hopefully you guys are still watching. But yeah, I just feel like right now being a transgender person is a really tricky time, especially with our society, because like, I don't know if people are transitioning for the wrong reasons. I just feel like they are, and that could be wrong of me to say that, but I'm just going off of my opinions and how I feel. And it's just like everyone's coming out as transgender. And it just, 10 years ago, when I came out as transgender, it was not like this, you guys. It was still not accepted. It was still very looked down upon. And I don't know. I don't know what the point of this video is, but I think people need to hear what I'm saying from a transgender person. The way our society is going with the transgender laws in place and blocking transgender healthcare, blocking transgender from sports, it's crazy. And I do agree with some of the things that they talk about. For example, having young kids under the age of 18 transition with hormone therapy. This is gonna sound, it's probably gonna get me in trouble, but I don't think that's right. I feel like you don't really know who you are until you're in your 20s or 30s. So I feel like if somebody wants to transition, allow them to transition as much as they can without medicines and all that. Because a lot of the hormone therapy, it is like a permanent thing. And once you start it, you're kind of like, I don't know what else to say. And if, say, these kids are seeing people transition and they think, well, I'm transgender also. And then when they're in their 20s or 30s, they realize, actually, I'm not transgender. What did I do? Because your brain is still growing and you're still maturing. And I just don't feel like hormone therapy is appropriate for young kids. I do feel like they should have access to counseling. They should be able to use the bathrooms they identify with. They should still be able to play sports in school. I feel like transgender athletes is another issue that's been brought up recently. And that's like a very tricky situation. I mean, if you think about it, a man that transitions to a woman, it just doesn't sound right, right? And that's what the Republicans are saying. And I identify as Democrat. Like, I am very liberal. Like, I want everyone to just be themselves. But I think that transgender athletes need to undergo extensive hormone testing, and they have to be on hormones a certain amount of time before they can actually participate in sports with the sex they identify with. Because, for example, if a man transitions to a woman and they just started hormone therapy and now they're going against a biological CIS woman, they're still going to have a lot of muscle mass from the male hormones in your body. And I think it takes a year or so for your body to decrease in muscle mass and for your body to kind of transition. And I'm sure it's the same with female to male, like, because they inject testosterone. If they have too much testosterone in their body, they do have an advantage over a biological CIS man. So I feel like this video is going to get me in trouble, but I just feel like there needs to be extensive testing. I think everyone should be allowed to play sports. There just needs to be more testing to make sure that it's fair for everybody. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say, you guys. I just felt like it was important to talk to you guys and kind of get my opinions out there. And yeah. I don't know. Do you guys like my makeup today? I went a little crazy. I did purple, and then I did blue, and then I lined my lips so they look massive. And then I actually used my Fenty Heat Balm. Love this stuff. It is the bomb. Which makes me sound like I'm from the 90s. Whatever. So yeah. I've been filming a lot of TikToks, you guys. I have just been trying to do a lot of things that make me happy. And yeah, I'm just like starting to ramble now, which whatever. But anyways, if you are transgender and you don't agree with this video, I don't want hate comments down below. I'm not doing this out of hate. I want everyone to be themselves. I want everyone to be accepted, whether you're gay, bi, straight, transgender, non-binary. Oh, something else I want to talk about real quick while we're talking about being transgender and all that. I have a friend who is a trans guy who identifies as non-binary, but he mainly identifies as a trans man. But he films TikToks with his chest not like bound down and flat. And but then he wants to be known as a trans man. And it's very confusing to me, because to see that, that would be like, I understand the whole non-binary, but it's very confusing to me. And I still I still say he when I talk about him, but it's like, I don't know the best way to say it. It's like a mind fuck, because you have somebody saying, I want to be known as he, but then they have their breasts. And yes, I understand they love their body the way it is, but the way he talks about his body and hating that part of his body, it just doesn't line up with body dysmorphic disorder, if that makes sense, in my opinion. Like, it's the whole non-binary thing and they them is very, very confusing to me. I had an associate that I used to work with at my work that went by they them, and when they introduced themselves to me, they identified as a she. And because that's the way I met them, I constantly said she, because she was presenting as a she. And it's like, and then you try and correct yourself. But me being of a particular age, they, them, that to me refers to as multiple people. And I'm only talking to one person. So that's, they, them pronouns are very confusing to me. I have a hell of a time with the they, them pronouns. Does anyone else? No hate. Like, sometimes I feel like a they, them, but I am a she, her. And that sentence right there sounds completely crazy. But, yeah, I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on the transgender healthcare for minors, young kids. I'm also wondering what your opinions are on the transgender athlete situation. I think everyone should have access to healthcare as long as they're mature enough to understand the decisions that they're making. You know what I mean? It would be like allowing a gender or a minor to have gender reassignment surgery, and that doesn't happen because that's freaking permanent. Like, I don't know, you guys. Come here. Want to come say bye? Come here. Don't tip over my lights, bitch. Sorry. But yeah, I want to get back to filming good videos for you guys, and I was gonna like set up the backdrop, but you guys know I hate the whole facade of YouTube and pretending everything's perfect and making it seem like I'm in a studio. Like, I'd much rather sit down with you guys and have a conversation. I'm sitting on my couch. I have some candles going, like my cat's running around. I live a real life, and these are just my real opinions. And I want to be able to relate to you guys and have you guys relate to me. And that's why I love YouTube, you guys. You can talk to so many different people, hear so many different opinions, and don't tip over my lights. I will kill you. I will kill you. Come here then. Come here. Meh. Meh. Don't just stand there and get crazy eyes. Come over here. Yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I've been rambling 19 minutes now, which is crazy. I appreciate everybody who watches my videos. Make sure you like my videos, subscribe to my channel. And if you agree with my opinions, great. If you disagree with my opinions, great. That's what makes us human, and what makes us a society is agreeing to disagree and coming together to form mutual opinions and just be accepting human beings, if that makes sense. So I love you guys so much, and I would appreciate it if you guys would subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I only need like 15 more subs before I can actually start getting paid on YouTube. And then it would be nice to get a little paycheck every once in a while, which I don't do this for the money. Like, I could care less. I don't do it for views. I just do YouTube to change people's lives and to share my opinions about things. So, yeah, anyways, until next time. Bye, guys.